Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 70, Shipwreck. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we go. At the top, 4 and up, plastic-free packaging. Except tape and glue. Warning, no stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Then on the top flap here, we have the embossed G.I. Joe with the stripes. Classified series, not so embossed. In fact, it's pretty flat. On the front, nice digital renders. At least I'm guessing that's what they are. Of the accessories, a nice photograph on the front cover. At least that's how it looks to me. Some artwork here. G.I. Joe Classified Series, and again, the G.I. Joe and stripes are embossed. G.I. Joe Shipwreck. G.I. Joe Star. Hasbro print. On the bottom, in case you forgot, plastic-free packaging. Except tape and glue. Small fine legalese made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, that screamy face artwork of Shipwreck. He's screaming at his bird. Polly. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 70. On this side, the G.I. Joe Star. Artwork of Shipwreck again, screaming at Polly. He's number 70. There's this QR code, I'm assuming for his file card, or what they're calling file cards these days. So if you want to pause it here so you can scan that, there you go. And then there's a bit of his file card there. And again, the stripes come around from the front. They are embossed, and the embossing stays the same throughout. They don't fade out with the color. On the back, he's number 70, G.I. Joe, and then that targeting looking background there. G.I. Joe Shipwreck. Nice digital render of the figure and the accessories. He is, according to this, 6.3 inches tall, or 160 millimeters. And then there's some close-ups of features that the figure features. Warning, attention, Achtung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Attention, especially don't stick it in your French pie hole. Parents, GIJoe.com. And some more small fine legalese made China print. Some other symbols I'm not going to learn. And Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And handy dandy tweezers here. Let's start with the accessories. And here's what I'm going to call his primary weapon, which is a blunderbuss. I'm going to call it a blunderbuss because it looks to be a sawed-off double-barreled shotgun of flintlock design. It's got a nice little rope on the end of it. Nice silver paint app on it. Nice molded details, I think. Even right down to the rope. Here is his sidearm. And it's got some nice detailing here on the handle and down the receiver. It does have an extended barrel on it. The detailing is on both sides, matching. It's very nice looking. And here we have his grappling hook or anchor, whatever you want to use it as, I suppose. And it does have a nice silver paint app on it. It's not, at least not that I can tell, molded in silver because of the silver paint app on it. So that's very nice. He's got some rope going on here, of which the hook can hook to. It does have a little silver painted hook on the end of the rope that this grappling hook, anchor, whatever you want to call it, you can hook to that if that's what you want to do with it. And next up we have his wig. It's not really a wig, I just call it that. But his hair for when he's not wearing his sailor's cap. And I have to say, it does have a lot of nice molded detail in the sculpt. And then of course here we have Polly, because what's Shipwreck without Polly? And I have to say, it does have nice molded details on it, and it does have nice paint apps as well. Even his little peg leg. And up here on his head. So it's very nice looking. Now let's take a look at Shipwreck himself. Well, last accessory first. And this is the box that his accessories come in the plastic free packaging, except tape and glue. And I have to say, I do like the previous versions of these foot lockers better. They look more G.I. Joe and Cobra-esque to me, where these do have a much more real-life military feel to them, and they do have some nice details printed on them. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure himself. And I have to say, overall, I do think he has some nice tampos and paint apps on him. Doesn't look like there's any paint from the waist down. It's all molded in color. Along with, actually, most of the figures, you know, there's not a lot of paint apps going on. He does have some paint there on his belt buckle. And some nice molded details. I mean, just nice molded details throughout, just like most of the Classified line. And he does have his one eyebrow arched up over here. And nice face printing technology used here. The eyes appear to be straight. And the beard looks overall good. And then on his chest there, he's hairier than a Wolverine figure. But not on his arms. Instead, he has tattoos on his arms. So there's a nice tampo there. There's a nice tampo up here on his sleeve. And then same on the other side, although different things. So nice tattoo there, tampo. And then nice tampo there. Let's take a look at his articulation real quick. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, there's a port right here in his arm for Polly, and on the rope as well, in the knot. So now let's take a look at his articulation. There went his wig. Sorry, I didn't mean to expose you to the world, Shipwreck. He can look up that high. He can look down that far. He's got chicken neck. Waggle, waggle, waggle. He can do the full exorcist. 360-degree rotation at the shoulder. It's on a butterfly hinge, or it has a butterfly hinge. Goes back that far and forward that far. And finally at the shoulder, he can raise his arm up past 90 degrees. There's a cut here. I was going to say here. That would actually kind of make sense, but it's too close to the elbow. So anyway, cut here where the sleeves rolled up, and it gives you a 360-degree rotation at the upper bicep. For the elbow, it has a double-hinged pinless elbow. It gives you that much bend. At the wrist, 360 degrees of rotation on and up and down. Hinge and up and down hinge on the other side as well. So that's very good. It's got the standard ab hinge. Allows him to bend backwards that far. Allows him to bend forward that far. There's a ball or dumbbell at the waist, and it does give him some hula. Allows him to bend back that far, which isn't much, and forward that far, and then he can lean left and right. Pull down hinge at the hips. Allows him to give you that much of the splits, which is almost the full splits. One thing I did forget to mention, he also has a 360-degree rotation at that waist joint. Now he can kick forward about 90 degrees, back about a half a step, cut here at the upper thigh for a full 360-degree rotation. And here's something I just noticed. There is a pain app below the waist, so we have that, and I guess the belt buckle technically counts as below the waist. And then on this side as well to show some wear on his jeans. At the knee, double hinged pinless knee gives you that much bend. And at the ankle, nothing at the shin, by the way. At the ankle, can tilt down that far, up that far, forward facing pin for rocker. Now y'all seen that's how he looks with his hat on. Swap his wigs out. That's what he looks like with his hat off. There's the holster for his primary weapon right here. And I do believe it goes in there like that. And just give it a good little push in there. So that works. His sidearm goes on the other side in this leg holster. And the rope goes on him like this. And again, the hook, you can either hook it here to the rope, or there is a hook on his belt that it can go on as well. And then again, poly, can go on. You can pick poly in on his arm right there, so he can be talking, you know, looking at it while it's on his arm. Or poly also can peg into the knot on the rope, which seems a little more shipwrecky to me. So that's storage for everything except for his extra hairpiece. And there you have it, my friends. There's a look at Shipwreck and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shipwreck and Poly. with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Walmart exclusive retro carded Gung Ho, and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Torpedo. Here's the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shipwreck and Polly, with the Action Force Swarm Trooper with Swarm Gear, and the Action Force Scarab. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shipwreck and Polly, with, from the Marvel Legends series, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. Our final G.I. Joe Classified Series comparison, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shipwreck and Polly, I have to say I like this figure. He just looks... he looks like a smartass, like Tiger Force Outback, so... I don't know, I can see those guys hanging out together. The tampos on this guy, the tattoos, the stuff on the shirt looks great. I like the fact that they gave him a wig so that he can have you can have the look with the hat or without the hat, and then, you know, all the other accessories, especially Polly. Sits on his shoulder on that rope, but can also perch on his arm. You know, I think that's great. I think the paint apps on Polly are good too, and it's just overall it's a good looking figure, and I think it's a good representation of the character. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.